Now, you're probably expecting me to come walking through the door of my dining room, but that's not going to happen because today we're visiting the Strong Museum in Rochester, New York, which houses an incredible collection of 19th century Americana, including items such as that dollhouse. And with me is photographer Tom Haugh. Tom, we've got plenty of things to see today, don't we?
You bet we do.
Museums are a natural opportunity for getting good pictures. Now, as in any phase of your photography, we're going to be met with some special and interesting challenges, but they're challenges that we're going to be able to overcome with just a few simple tips that we're going to cover in the next few minutes. Mike, the individual collector might have one or two items that he or she is really interested in, but in a museum it's an obvious opportunity to see a much larger collection. In this case, we're looking at a beautiful display of dolls. Hundreds in one case, behind glass.
That's
glass
a problem.
Means reflections. So that is one thing you want to keep in mind when you're photographing a collection in a museum, is to avoid those reflections. Simply stand at an angle, and that'll help eliminate many of those reflections.
And that angle actually will give you a better view of the doll anyway.
Yes, it's a more interesting view rather than a straight-on shot.
Sure.
In photographing a lighted collection in a museum, one of the first things you notice is the light isn't always even. In this particular case, we have bright lights at either end. That means that in the center it's darker. You may lose some detail in those dark shadows. So you can get a better opportunity for a good picture by simply moving in closer, concentrating on the brighter areas.
Tom, we've moved to a Victorian parlor setting, and I see a lot of furniture here. I'd like to get it all in the shot.
There's a very easy way to do that, of course, and this is where lens selection is important, Mike. With a wide-angle lens, you can cover, as the name would imply, a wider angle of view. This gives you an opportunity, and perhaps, for example, in a museum setting, the spaces are somewhat confined, but larger exhibits. Wide-angle lens, wider view. We also think about, are we going to select a slide or a print film? Why would one be better than the other? In this particular situation, I think perhaps a print film would be better, Mike, because it allows the photo finisher to make some adjustments in exposure and color, to perhaps correct some mistakes or correct some of the color differences that you'll see because of the mix of light in this situation. We have tungsten light, we have fluorescent light, we may even have some sunlight coming through open windows. All of those lights are different colors. With a slide film, that mixture could be a little unusual, but a print film, a correction can be made. You have a much better chance of getting a good result. We go from the very large to the very small. In small subjects, in fine detail, cry out for close-ups. Now, how do we accomplish close-ups? One obvious way, of course, is with a macro lens. That means that you can focus at extremely close ranges. But many people don't realize, Mike, that a normal lens, a 50mm lens on a 35mm camera, allows you to get into about 18 inches. Now, that'll cover an area only about 8 by 10 inches. That's pretty close.
Sure.
But close-up lenses, normal lenses, concentrate, move in close, look for that fine detail. It gives you another viewpoint, another perspective in your pictures.
Tom, I got a good shot of the museum with my wide-angle lens.
And it brings to mind another important point, Mike. Inside, outside as well. There are a lot of picture opportunities with museums. They present you many different angles, architectural details, designs that tell a more complete story of your visit. So just to recap very briefly, keep in mind lens selection, film selection, viewpoint. As the photographer, you select the angle, and if I left you with just one important point, it would be to concentrate on a single subject. That really is an important key to successful photography.
Tom, thank you for being with us today.
My pleasure, Mike.